Leslie. I'm going to make sure that I'm recording because she's so helpful with us getting on there. I think I should be recording now. Yep, I am. So find a comfortable posture. And of course, as all evening practice goes, being restful, allowing repose, preparing for restoration. We want to be in a position that invites the integrity of the practice as best we can. And that means that we're not getting prepared to go to sleep, but we can be restful. So the integrity means we are going to undertake the practice with full intention. And if you fall asleep, I want to say I think that's different than trying to go to sleep, which is not the intention of these practices. So I want you to do your best to bring integrity to the practice, and then just we bring that intention and then see how we do. And so here we are. And so find your posture. I'm going to get my bell and my I hope everyone is well. These practices have been a really strong support for me in the last several weeks, including the slogan. I wrote just a little bit about that. We're going to keep practicing with them throughout the next couple of weeks, just so you can get an idea of how beneficial these small pith instructions can be for us. And really have been serving me, I have to say, in a powerful and meaningful way. So here we are. Let's prepare. I'm going to be reading some of the prayer. I don't have it memorized, and that's okay. It's not required that you memorize either the prayers or the slogans. And so I want to talk for maybe just a second about pray to what. You know, these traditions are non-theistic. So we are not praying to the Buddha. We are not praying to something. These prayers may best be understood as invocations, as invitation, as igniting these particular qualities of heart, mind, in ourselves, in our own heart, our own minds. And so when you hear the word prayer, be careful, because what can happen is that we can go, whoops, I've already made a commitment to practice, to a tradition, to maybe a root tradition. And by the way, as I said before on Saturday, I and the entire Sangha completely supports all of your practices that contribute to your benefit and to the benefit of others. And it in no way requires a particular school, a particular thought, and for certain, not a particular set of beliefs. But we do ask that you check in on your own direct experience. And this prayer is the inviting of the qualities of goodness, the qualities of strength, the qualities of our own healing capacity, the qualities of compassion, of love, of patience, any quality really for me that grows the heart larger, I see as good news, and grows the mind open, spacious, directed not only to oneself, but then to others as well. And so however we get to that, I see this as all good. And these are called the Lojong practice prayers. And so I thought we might have some fun with them this evening. So get in a comfortable posture, sitting or lying. And to begin, we're going to be feeling the space both around you, and then be porous enough, sufficiently porous. Non-solid would be one of the ways it would be talked about, non-solid. Porous enough that we're letting that breath move in and through and out ultimately without an inside and an outside. Breath to air to breath to air. And I love these practices on a quiet evening. Not evening, possibly for everyone. And as we establish ourselves in the posture, we also establish the heart-mind. We call this igniting the heart of bodhicitta. And we can do this in many ways. And in our current neuroscience, we know that recollecting the good, recollecting love, recollecting moments of compassion actually stimulate the mind and stimulate even a neurochemistry that actually contribute to impacting the polyvagal nerve bundle and actually open the heart. Like really true, opens the heart. And so we recollect those we care about, those we love, those to whom we wish to dedicate this practice this evening. You might pick a special loved one, one in special need, and be specific enough to call someone or some group to mind. May this practice be of benefit to all beings everywhere without exception, omitting none, freeing us, awakening us all. And so the invocations begin with recollecting the refuge and the aspiration of the awakened heart-mind. Until I reach enlightenment, I take refuge in all the awakened ones, and in the Dharma, the truth, and in the Sangha, the spiritual community. By the merit of accomplishing the 6 perfections, those are the paramitas, may I achieve awakening for the benefit of all beings. At the beginning of every period of meditation, I'd like you to imagine now your root guru, and for me, that's a loved one, someone from whom I have experienced protection, love, security, care, and there are many that I could call to mind. We are not looking for this idea of perfect love beyond the moment that you're recollecting it. A moment where you felt seen, heard, regarded, cared for. Place that guru atop your head, sitting on a lotus. And of course, this is culturally true. If you don't see a lotus there, but you see a soft, fluffy pillow or cloud, that would be just fine. Sometimes I've had images or visions, by the way, where I have seen fire or light. And the way that I do the practice is actually the use of light. So I see twinkling stars of light being gathered. And you might check into the visualization that ignites that awakened heart mind for you. Moments of love, moments of care, moments of kindness. Capturing them like a twinkling star and inviting them here in this space above your head. Let the body of this being or this constellation of beings be radiant. Let the faces, if they are beings, be happy and smiling as this awakened entity. Could even be awakened love. Letting it be radiant, luminous, a golden glowing light. And sometimes I picture that as a kind of liquid, vaporous gold light. And holding that entity above your head now, think about the lineage of all those who have come before you. All those who have committed their lifetimes to goodness, to kindness, to care, to the benefit of other beings, not just self-referencing. You could think of those in your own family, those in your own life, and then all those infinite others throughout all time. We can invite one of those sparks, igniting and radiating this luminous light above your head. With intense respect and devotion, repeat this following prayer, and you can just, I'll say it, and you can just open yourself to listening. I pray for your blessing, O awakened one, great and completely worthy spiritual friend. I pray that you will contribute to love, compassion, and bodhicitta. May it arise in my mind. Then imagine that this guru, this entity, this light source of love and compassion, let it descend through the aperture of Brahma, the fontanelle at the top of the head, and let it sit in your heart in a pavilion of light, resting on the shelf of your own open heart. Breathe it in, radiating this light in your own heart, letting it move throughout your whole body, but staying central and radiating in the heart source. You can place your hand there if that feels like it can invite and support you. And the evening I was having a difficult time, I created with both hands a shelf where I invited this goodness to rest just beneath my own heart. And that was spontaneous, but also supportive. We will begin every period of meditation, even the Tonglen practice, in this way. We need these supports. They are essential to our growth, to our development, and to our own spiritual path. And then there is a 7-branch prayer. I'm only going to read a few lines of it just so that you can get a full sense. While you continue to radiate this source of light, love, divine source, again, think of it as divine feminine. Think of it in whatever way feels most inspiring and most activating for you. With complete faith, I bow to all the victorious ones and their sons and daughters who abide in the 10 directions and 3 times. The 10 directions are these sources of light moving in all directions, and the 3 times are both past, present, and future. Throughout the 3 times in the 10 directions. This means like Indra's net moving all over. You can imagine this beautiful dark night sky connecting all of these sources of light into this one intention. I offer flowers, incense, light, perfume, food, music, and all good things, both in substance and with my imagination. That means you could actually put out a bowl of scented water, you could put out rice, you could put out fruit, you could put out a stick of incense, and I'll tell you about that in a moment, how this incense actually works. I ask the noble assemblage to accept these gifts. I confess all evil actions that I have done, influenced by habit and defilements, from time without beginning until now, the 5 that ripen immediately, the 10 non-virtuous acts, and all others. So we don't need to go into them, but just know all this, the base precepts of not killing, not stealing, not taking that which is not needed, right speech, being watchful that we do not gossip or chatter unnecessarily, that we do not use intoxicants to blur our clear seeing and open heart, right? These are the basics. I rejoice in the merit of whatever virtue the bodhisattvas and all ordinary people might offer. May we gather them all throughout the 3 times. I pray for the wheel of the Dharma to be turned, the teachings of the Mahayana and the Hinayana, in ways suitable for the different aptitudes and motivations present in sentient beings. I ask the awakened ones not to pass into nirvana, but with great compassion, and until samsara is completely empty, to look after all sentient beings who drown in this ocean of sorrow. May whatever merit I've accumulated become a seed for the enlightenment of all beings. Without delay, may I become a splendid leader, a bodhisattva for all beings. I just thought I'd share that. That's just one of the offerings. And here's the other, and then we'll sit quietly for a while. May all of our bad circumstances arise as friends on the path. May all bad circumstances actually bring us benefit. May we realize emptiness, or we could say non-separateness, the complete freedom from all elaborations. That means mental chatter. And as a result of fulfilling these aspirations, may we bring great benefit to all beings. And then we'll rest in a period of ultimate bodhicitta, having struck the heart to ignite the awakened heart mind. We simply rest in the open space. You can use the breath, particularly at the beginning, though we don't want to get locked into the breath. We can use the breath as that slide off into open space if it's useful. We try to keep the visualization of that radiant, awakened heart resting in our own heart space, active and vivid. One of the ways I do this is by visualizing breathing in, igniting and activating that heart with each in-breath. And with the out-breath, I simply am breathing it out in the 10 directions and the 3 times. Remember, I'm recollecting and calling on all sources of goodness and refuge. people, places, qualities of mind. Breathe them in and nourish the heart of bodhicitta. And after we completely immerse ourselves, our own bodies, and remember it's the three bodies as well, not just the physical body, not just the energetic body, but the very, very subtle body. And somebody might call that spirit or maybe even soul, though I want to be careful about not over solidifying. We could call that essence, awareness, alaya. That which is beyond any sense of self. We rest our own heart mind in the vast, open, spacious, sky-like quality of mind that is beyond just mine. And then we're going to invite all of this goodness, all of these awakened capacities, all of the Buddhas, awakened ones, victorious ones throughout all time and all traditions. We're going to invite them to support us now as we turn towards a moment of difficulty. And so we're going to be invited to reflect on and recollect a moment of difficulty, remembering that we have these amazing sources of refuge, the awakened ones, the truth, the Sangha, all goodness throughout all time, the lineage, whatever those are for you. And of course, as people know, I count my Chicago carpenter family's lineage in that lineage. I count Joko Beck and her teachings and community as a part of my lineage. I count John Kabat-Zinn, one of my first mindfulness teachers, and his goodness as a part of the lineage. I'm drawing on all sources. My grandmother Irene, my father, the great protector. All those who have loved me and love me now. All those whom I have loved. Calling on them all, igniting this heart and placing them in this heart space. And then I'm going to begin to breathe in. We're going to move into the Tonglen practice. I'm going to begin to breathe in the felt physical sense of the difficulty that I'm recollecting. And seeing if I can activate both the mind and the body. I'm recollecting the event. This is activating the mind. I remember feeling lonely, scared, incapable, somewhat desperate, panicky. I'm calling on those thoughts, those feelings, and letting the body activate that as well, to the extent that that's workable. But we're breathing it in first as this moment of difficulty. It can tend to contract us unless we use the heart space and then the whole body being as this transformer. The very willingness to turn towards the difficult, already inviting a certain fearlessness and courage. Remembering all the supports that we have, inviting us willingly to take it in. And as we take it in, we can also then invite an intention, an aspiration, or even a prayer. May I take this difficulty, so that not only may I be healed, may I take this difficulty in its same form from all other beings who have felt just like this. And see where you can work with it. I've been working with this particular event for over a week, and so I'm very able to breathe in not only for myself right now, but those others, expanding, opening, making both the heart, the mind bigger, creating room and space. And depending on whether and how you've worked with this, it may be best to just start with yourself and stay there for a time. And it's not a lesser or greater situation, so don't think of it that way. Can I remember that this is a part of the human condition? That not only myself, but others feel this too, even if we're just breathing in for the self right now. We're taking it in with the in-breath, letting it touch that source of light, radiant light. And really, for me, the more I've been practicing, it just creates more light. It's like this difficulty and this source of goodness and light come together, combusting, creating even greater awakening, greater light, greater healing, greater love. And then with the out breath, this transmuted difficulty has become a source of healing, a source of benefit, a source of compassion and love. And see what naturally happens for you with it. Where do you want to send it? And for me, in the midst of the difficulty last week, I was just sending it throughout the body, this physical body, which was feeling pretty jangled and distressed. I think it's a good way to begin. May I and all those just like me who feel this be freed from suffering. And we stay in the medium of the breath, remembering to breathe it in with each in-breath, making contact with that source of light, generating bodhicitta, radiating goodness, relief. And then we send it where it is most of benefit. And sort of see what naturally happens with it. I think that's a little more interesting than having a plan. See what you really have available. Let it be true and enough. We can invite the visualization on the in-breath of a thick, dark, black, hot, smoky in-breath. It's already happening, by the way, because there's a natural contraction that invites that felt sense. And as it is being purified, as it is being evaporated, as it is being dissolved, it's being melted away. The solidness of the difficulty is being turned into little fairy dust and light. And we can breathe it out, offering it now as the antidote. The very poison has been transmuted into the antidote. And then we can send it out. White, clean, purified, vaporous, fresh. Out there. And remember, if you were with us on Saturday, that we only do this for a few moments. And then we take that radiant light that's being sent out and we settle back and rest in that light itself, in the open space. I could imagine resting in the light rays radiating in all directions. You could imagine resting in that open, spacious, boundless, radiant heart. Just don't let it be confined or constricted. It is beyond any self-made qualities. And one of the slogans is self-liberate, even the antidote. And it means we don't even hang on to that. We let go of the breath. We let go of the idea of breathing in and out. We rest back in that vast, open, spacious quality of heart and mind. A sense of clean air, of open space. The quiet of the night or the morning. We can rest in non-distraction. And then we can gather all the merits, all the goodness. Of this practice and all practice throughout all time. And we can begin breathing it in, using the medium of the breath again for breathing in the good, soaking in the good. And as we breathe in, we can breathe in the wishes and blessings of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May I have happiness and the causes for happiness. Breathe it in and let it touch all obscurations, all knots, all bundles, all tension, dissolving them all so that we have a clear path. To happiness and the causes for happiness. May I have freedom from suffering and the causes of suffering. Taking that wish in. Completely for oneself. May I rejoice at my good fortune. May I rest in the wide arms of wisdom and compassion. Free from all afflictions. And in my wholeness, in my healing, in my freedom, and in my awakening, may I free all beings. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness. Now we breathe it in and send it out with the out breath. Sending it out in the 10 directions, in the 3 times, touching all beings and all things. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all rejoice at our good fortune and propagate the wish and the reality of good fortune for others. May we all rest and dwell in the wide open arms of wisdom and compassion, free from craving and clinging, free from hatred and ill will, free from delusion, ignorance, and indifference. And may this practice this evening, may it contribute this day is good. Let this day be done. And may we all have peace. And may we all have rest this evening. So be it. So I hope that was of some benefit to you this evening. It has been for me, and the practicing of it has made it more useful, and actually has been able now a couple times to spontaneously be available. And so that which we practice grows stronger, and that which we practice becomes more available. And so when we don't do it, you cannot count on it. It doesn't mean it's not there, and it doesn't mean it can't work and be a benefit, but it does mean that it will not necessarily be available to you in difficult and distressing moments. And the evidence was there for me that because I had been reciting some of the slogans and really breathing throughout the day, breathing them in and sending them out, that it actually was able to be there for me then when I was in need. And that's a very good thing all the way around. So please continue your practice. We will be practicing tomorrow morning from 7 to 7:45. I will be leaving for previous commitment. I have something at 8 o'clock, so we will not be reciting the slogans, but I will just talk for a moment about the one or two that we're working on now. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. I hope you all have a really wonderful, blessed evening. It's always a joy to practice with all of you. Thank you for being here for me and for the other. So
Thank
blessed.
you, everybody. I'm so grateful. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. The same to you, Tanya. And, Leslie, I see you too. Blessings to you and to everyone. Libby, my sweet sister. Hope you have a good evening. I see Carrie and Lisa and Kathy and Joyce. Wonderful to see you all. Blessings, everyone. I hope you have a lovely evening. I've got my jammies on already. Off I go for a little rest before tomorrow morning's practice. I'll look forward to seeing you then for those of you who can make it. Blessings, everyone.